Adapt, or your Florida garden won't survive August to meet the successes in October. Today I'm going to be telling you 10 crops to plant now. I'm going to get right into it, okay? The first crop, tomatoes, classic tomatoes. And for zone 10A that I'm in, or Florida, the best option is heat-tolerant tomatoes. And I'm going with the cherry tomato, the Everglades cherry tomato. That one will be able to tolerate the heat. The only thing to watch out for is the hornworms and fungal infections, okay? So anything fungal, so you observe the leaves, okay? Observe the stems, and just observe in general for any form of critter, any form of insect on it. And bear in mind that there are many options for you in terms of heat-tolerant varieties. Remember the Florida 91, and the solar fire. Those are other options. Check out my video. I did a video on the heat tolerant tomatoes specific for Florida. That might provide some good information for you. In case you're just joining, Deb here, Two Raised Beds to Freedom. And if you're in the business of growing more produce, saving money, and building backyard freedom, you're in the right space. Have a seat, okay? So I'm continuing 10 crops for August. Second crop, peppers. Peppers are good. They love the heat. They love the heat in Florida. And if you keep the soil moist enough, okay, feed it, make sure it stays moist, it doesn't dry out too much, they will work wonders for you. You will have a bountiful harvest in October, okay? So that is another good one to check out. Bush beans. Bush beans are another variety. Beans in general, they are good. Of course, they are nitrogen fixers for your soil, and they represent quick produce. 45 to 60 days, you can have produce to show. Here are my beans here, and man, am I proud. Okay, I have some beans and a lot of blossoms on them already. I'll show you, but this is a good one, and you can have something to harvest, something to show, and it can add to many meals. The other thing with bush beans, direct sow, and please harvest often, and you will be great. Okay, you will have continuous produce. The other produce I want you to think about is cucumbers. Cucumbers is good. They love the warm soil. The warm soil propels and works toward good germination. And once you have germination and that seedling comes up, you're well on your way. And it can represent some good continuous harvest for you. As the time cools down, it will produce more and you will be great, okay? Now, please stick around. Number 7 is one that you don't want to miss. I'll be throwing some facts that might just surprise you about number 7, okay? Moving on. Now I'm going to tell you some other greens. Bok choy. Bok choy is one of them. Yes, it is a member of the pak choy family. As far as I'm concerned, it's just small variations of the same thing. But it is something good to have. Nutritious, quick growing. It loves afternoon shade, and all you do, continuously harvest the outer leaves and the plant itself will continue to grow and produce for you. That is something that you can add to your little garden, your space, whether big or small, and it can very much grow, be prolific for you. Continuous harvest, good for salads, good for sides in your 3-course meal. Another crop that is good in salads, mustard greens. Mustard greens is a solid one. What the difference with mustard that I like, the leaves are bigger, so a little goes a long way. It is also a prolific grower, and it is also something that you can continue to reap the outer leaves and it just continue to blossom and flourish, okay? Look into that depending on where you are, okay? Because it can work wonders for you. There's one variety that I especially love, the giant red variety. I planted some the early part of this year, you know, when the time was cooler. So now I'm definitely going to go back into it because the cooler the time, the bigger they get. And I really want to see how that big one look. And it has a red color that is very beautiful. So check that out. I'll be showing you mine as they come up. Now, I want to know something from you, okay? I want you to put it in the comments. What crop can't you do without in your startup? So you're planting now for fall, so I want to know which one you can't do without. For me, I plant the ones that I love and I enjoy. Yes, not because it's fall, you can just put anything in, but if it makes sense for me because I'm going to eat it, then I'm going to plant it. So tell me the ones that you're working with, and please subscribe. If everything here resonates with you, my small space, big message, subscribe, join the family. We are a growing bunch of gardeners, growing every day, and we love good company. Okay, so now to the next crop. This is my favorite, number 7, Swiss chard. Swiss chard is one that I think that you should consider. Why? The leaves are bigger. It can take the place of lettuce in that it tolerates heat better. It is more nutritious, more vitamins, and a bigger produce for the same amount of space. So if I can get that in something just as a lettuce, similar to a lettuce, a bigger family to a lettuce, then that is what I'm gonna go for. And also it comes in many colors that adds variety and beauty to your garden. Okay, so consider that it is bigger, more heat tolerant, more nutritious, more for your buck. Okay, so it will go a long way. So consider that. Now to a classic in terms of fall, broccoli. Broccoli is a good one, but one thing to remember, it is in the same family, the brassicas, just as cabbages and stuff, but one thing with it, feed it, because to develop that head, that nutritious thing that you reap and would like to eat, you have to feed it. Make sure that the soil is nutritious. Feed the soil. Remember, as I said, that is one of the important things. So check my last video out. I will link it to that video because it's one of the most important things, the most underrated part and overworked part of your garden is the soil. And with something as broccoli, it needs to be fed. So the more nutritious the soil, the better those heads are. Okay, so if you want good heads on your broccoli, make sure the starting point is your soil. Make sure it is good starting point. Okay, green onions. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is a perpetual savior of the garden all year round. This is one of those crops that you can reap throughout the whole year. Whether the heat is on, the humidity, there's drought, there's too much sun, whatever. Green onions will save you. Green onions will make your garden look flourishing. Even if you want to plant a whole bed of green onions, I'm sure it won't go to waste. You can season every pot from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But green onions, you can go in the supermarket, buy them, chop off the heads. You'll be using in a pot, some meal that you're doing, and the bottom, just put in some water a little, let those roots, grow some more, and then you stick them right into the ground. They'll be off in no time, and I'll show you mine in my bed because they are always going. The only thing though, make sure they're very sensitive, very finicky, and I learned that this year, by default because of herbicide exposure, and mine went to waste, and I started them, and it's like nothing. It came back. But I have green onions to show again. So check that out. No matter what season of the year, green onions will back you up. The last crop for August I want you to consider is kale. Kale is a good one. It also adds variety, also adds nutrition, also adds bigger leaves, also adds beauty to your garden for the same amount of space as others, such as the lettuce, and it is swinging right there with the Swiss chard. So consider that. You have many varieties, bigger leaves, you have the fluffier ones, that you can consider, but please take that into account. And with that being said, remember your other direct sow items. Don't put them far. Your carrots, your beets, your turnips, those get them ready. Those are direct sow items. Yes, they're still a part of my list. I didn't put them as part of the 10, but they are on the radar as well. So those are next. Those are direct sow, whether your pots, your garden, your beds, whatever it is, are in ground. Those are the next ones to consider. And depending on where you are, how cool your area is getting, you might be able to go ahead with those even long before I do, because where I am, I'm still quite hot and humid because this is the peak of the season for me. So consider those. Okay, now I hope that helps someone. I don't have a vast variety of crops to tell anyone. I have a small space, but I still tell my viewers what can work for you, what can work in your area. And especially if we are in the same zone, kudos to you, because we can be planting the same things. And with that being said, check out my channel membership, because on my membership every month I publish what to plant for each month for every zone. So whether we don't share the same zone, I still cater to everyone. So it can be what to plant, garden activities, what to look on, pests, small things that you can do. I don't have a 10-page document, but something that you can grow from, something that you can start with and will benefit you in the long run. Okay, so that's me today, Deb, signing out. If this helps someone, subscribe. Okay, I'm always here, love good company, and my small space can accept a big crowd. So stick around, I'll be here again, and you might never know what I'll be talking about next. So see you, take care.